So let me ask you.
Yeah.
How did this project come into mind?
How did this project come into mind? I think it's need.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, need to just solve the problems that are out there. And part of solving is through conversations.
That's nice. So it's true you can talk through any problem and to get a solution?
Not every problem, but talking has a bigger percentage.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, there's a story I had. There's a story I had of a lecturer friend of mine. He was saying one day his lecturer friend visited him and he said, Aki nimesota sijui vile nita pull through this month. And you know, when he was talking, the following day, a student came and gave him 100,000 shillings. So he was asking why. You know what happened? That student said, I heard you talk to someone saying you don't know how you will pull through this month. So I had some extra money and I thought, let me just give you.
Wow.
So you see, when you talk,
He kept quiet. But are there times when silence is the best option?
yes, there are moments. That's why there is a time for silence. There's a time for talking.
Yeah.
So it's us to apply wisdom. When to be silent, when to talk. Because there are times you can talk and you spoil things.
So is that what happened when Jesus was taken to be judged? Because the Bible says that, even Isaiah says that he remained silent like a lamb to slaughter.
Even there's a time he was asked, what is truth? He did not talk.
Why do I feel the podcast has already started?
Yes, that is behind the scenes. You know, funny thing, I used to have a book on stories. Just illustrations.
Yeah.
Even this illustration, it just came off of that book.
Yeah. That's an interesting perspective that we have, because sometimes have you realized the first thing that happens to somebody who's depressed, the first thing they keep quiet? There are two things: they keep quiet, and then in their bedroom they don't draw the curtains. More often than not, for most people who remain in the house, so they don't on light and they don't talk to somebody and they don't talk to be talked to.
So you shut curtains, you shut people.
You're shutting the light and you're shutting the sound.
Oh my God! So you can't talk.
Yes.
And you also can't.
And you can't. You remain in darkness.
Oh my God! And what thrives in darkness?
The same. Whatever it is you're going through becomes worse.
You guys, do you know who I'm talking to? I think you should come to this other side so that you can see him. This is the Identity Project podcast, where we have interactive conversations revolving around becoming, so that we live victoriously and lead others to do the same. Okay?
It's amazing that in every situation God has created a way of escape. Again, what says in 1 Corinthians 10:13, that no temptation has overcome you such as is common to man, and God is faithful and not allowed to be tempted beyond what you're able to get to bear. But in every temptation, He will make a way of escape. Probably part of that way of escape is talking through. How do we know if you don't try?
Yeah, that's why there's a part of talking and there's a part of remaining silent.
Yes.
And I think one of the things, sometimes in silence, you are processing.
Yes.
So that you know what to talk.
Absolutely.
And wisdom is part of key.
In fact, what you're talking about, even the Bible talks about meditation.
Yeah.
So meditation is the gap between knowledge and wisdom. Because when you're silent, you process what it is that you acquired. Because what is knowledge? Knowledge is the systematic accumulation of relevant information.
Say that again.
Knowledge, there are three things the Bible always talks about.
Yeah.
Knowledge, understanding, wisdom.
Yeah.
Knowledge is the systematic accumulation of relevant information. How you then translate that is through understanding, and through understanding is silence and processing the information you've already accumulated.
Okay. And where does wisdom come in?
Once you've processed, And you know what? Because in every piece of knowledge, there are nuggets. There are nuggets that can be once in meditating, you know what that specific information, what's applicable. Then all you do, you wait with that until the time comes when you apply what it is you have understood. That is wisdom.
Yeah, so wisdom is the application.
Yes.
That's why sometimes you can read the word.
Yes.
You get the knowledge.
Yes.
And you can get to a place that you're not wise.
Yes.
Because you do not apply.
You have not processed. But again, what can you apply what you understood?
True. Meditation.
Right? Meditation. In fact, for me, I've just realized that has been my weakness is studying.
Oh my
God. Sometimes I would read the word and I get so excited. I don't leave the gap enough to process what it is that I've read.
And meditation and processing, I was trying to look at the Hebrew word for meditate. It's like you are seated and you're like, what is God telling me?
Yes.
So for example, if he says, you will be prosperous and successful as long as this word does not depart from
thy mouth. Joshua 1:8.
Part of talking.
Yes.
So the thing is, you are asking yourself, what does God's word say?
Exactly. Now, here's the other thing. Let's explain this anatomically. Knowledge comes to the head. Application comes from the heart. The longest distance in a human being is from the head to the heart.
Go deeper.
You see, the thing is that when you have you ever come across somebody and realize that person did engineering, that person did accounting, but what they have is head knowledge.
Yeah.
So by the time you finish your CPAs, but you understand how to do these things. But when you go direct to apply it into an accounting department, that's when you transfer the head knowledge into actual wisdom.
So do you mean that people can have a lot in their heads, but until the heart is transformed?
Let me ask you, in this day and age, if there is something you have an overload of, is knowledge.
We are
how many YouTube videos have you ever watched on a particular thing and it makes you feel or think you can do it?
Many.
Until you actually go and do it and realize, probably I did not know. As a matter of fact, you know what you end up doing? You open the YouTube video on this side and you end up doing on this other side.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can watch videos after videos. Now, take YouTube, add Facebook, add Instagram, add TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok.
Right? All these people are telling you how to do it. And for them, it's easy because they've done it over and over and over.
10,000 hours.
Or even more.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is.
Yeah.
But for you and I, we are seeing it for the first time and we think, oh, even me, I can do that. So if it's a recipe, the food gets burnt.
Yeah.
Right? If it's the outcome, you're not getting the same taste.
Yeah.
Right? So essentially, that is now the distance. YouTube is head knowledge. Application is heart. And then there's also the practical side, which is doing. And that's why the Bible does not talk about reading. It talks about understanding. I actually started about meditation. In my lexicon, in my language, I've learned to replace understanding with meditation.
Okay. So that as you meditate, you are asking yourself, what does God want me to do from what is in my head?
And what is applicable in my life? Because we are reading, you and I have different experiences.
So does that mean that also God can put us in spaces where there are challenges, but instead of this being challenges from the head knowledge, it's an opportunity
to apply what it is?
That's wisdom.
That is wisdom. And then what does the Bible say about, what does it say in Proverbs 8 about wisdom? He who loves me, who loves wisdom, which means who loves understanding and who loves accumulating the knowledge, loves life. And those who do not, they love death, or they bring death upon themselves.
Oh my God. Yani, we just have to incorporate the word.
Yes, and not just the word. You bring the aspects of the word that apply to your life. Because there's also some head knowledge that is just based on the word, but you don't see where it applies in my life.
Yeah.
If you're a parent and you talk about disciplining your child, train up a child the way they should go, all the parents read that.
Yeah.
In a world that has 7-8 billion people, we can assume that probably a third of those are parents. Right? So we're talking about 1 billion parents or thereabouts. They all read the same word.
Yeah.
But is that training up the same irrespective of which family you're talking about? It's very different. There's geographical, there's emotional, there's economic, there's psychological reasons. So you have to find out how does that apply to me parenting my child in Nairobi or in Limuru or in Kakamega. How does that apply at this particular point? That is the wisdom.
Okay. Can we also add Europe?
Yeah. Because those guys need help. They need help. They need a lot of help, right?
Yeah, I think all over the world, because what we are facing and experiencing is similar. They might not be the same.
Yes.
But they are similar.
No temptation has overcome you, such as is common to man.
We are going back. And now, talking and keeping quiet.
Yes.
So there are times to talk.
Yes.
And there are times to keep quiet.
Yes, absolutely.
Now it's wisdom that comes in.
That's a gateway to wisdom. That there is the gateway to wisdom. Right? Because the wisdom also does not show up until you apply.
Yeah.
So if you have the understanding and you have the situation and you don't apply, you still have not accessed wisdom.
Let me take us to this story of this, I think, third king of Israel, Solomon. I think it was the third king.
Yeah.
Solomon prays for wisdom.
Yes.
And then you see, God does not just bring wisdom from heaven like manna.
Yes.
Like Uber Eats.
No.
That's how
that's
like
Glovo.
Uber Eats started, by the way.
Yes.
God does not just do that, but he puts you in spaces where you will have to work and partner with him so that you get that which you need.
Yes. Actually, let's click down a bit on that. To be honest, he never asked for wisdom. He asked for a discerning heart. Because how else can I lead these great people you've called me to lead? He literally asked for understanding. Because if you study discernment, understanding are not very far apart. As a matter of fact, in some versions of the Bible, they use discernment and understanding at the same time. Proverbs 8, I wisdom dwell with understanding. Other versions say, I dwell with discernment and know where knowledge and I think prudence are.
Prudence.
Right? So it's basically drawing I wisdom dwell with discernment or with understanding and know where prudence and knowledge are.
I know sometimes people are asking, what are these people talking about? It's from the book of Proverbs.
Yes.
And we're speaking from the wisdom of this guy called Solomon.
Yes.
As in this guy. Oh my God. Let's continue.
So the other interesting thing about it is that there are two, let's say there are two major pivots when it comes to wisdom, understanding wisdom. There's Proverbs 8, where wisdom talks as a lady, and there's Job 28. One of my favorites.
The fear of God is there.
That's how it ends.
Yeah.
But it's a book that has a late payoff. A late payoff is where you are taken through the motions, then the last verse tells you what it says. It says, people know where to find gold, and they know where to mine silver. They know how to do this, right? There are places where the lion has never stepped. Then it asks, it's almost like a poem. Where can wisdom be found? Where is understanding found? Then he goes and talks about things. Then at the very end, he says, the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And why are we dwelling so much on wisdom?
Because we need wisdom on how to move about many, many aspects of our lives. In fact, every aspect.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? And let's now click down on being a man. You see, the thing is that, yes, and I do understand there are ladies watching, but this is to your benefit.
This is for the men and the ladies that love them. That's what
perfect. I love it.
TD Jake said that.
I love that. I love it. Oh, spot on. Spot on. See, the thing is, and we can relate this, is that you are a provider, you are a son, you are a father, you are a brother, and you are an employee.
Yeah, and a friend.
You know? Those are the main things. There are times you'd be feeling like it's on very rare occasions that you feel you're doing well on all of them.
Yeah.
And depending on what it is that you're processing, right? You are required to show up in different ways in different places. If you are the first one, you're not providing the answers.
Yeah.
How then can you succeed in all these areas of your life? That's where wisdom comes in. I, wisdom, dwell with understanding.
Can I attempt that?
Yeah.
I was watching a video and it showed how this guy, a juggler, someone who throws balls,
Yes,
like he's handling all the balls.
yes.
So wisdom can dictate, I can be a father, I can be a brother,
Yes,
I can be a provider,
yes,
I can be a friend,
yes,
I can be a colleague. So it's like I'm juggling all these things so that I ensure I don't stay in one place for too long.
Yes,
because it will affect the other things.
Absolutely.
Just think about throwing the ball.
Yes.
As in, I can miss some opportunities.
Absolutely.
That's why, for me, I'm saying the more responsibilities we have as a provider, as a brother, as a colleague,
as a husband,
as a friend,
yeah,
we should not miss some moments,
yeah,
because we may take some or more time on some things, and we end up throwing the ball.
Yes,
or
dropping,
affecting or dropping.
Yes.
In fact, this is where dropping the ball comes
dropping the ball. And do you know the emotional damage that dropping one ball normally means?
Yeah.
You actually end up dropping the others.
Being a man is
a full-time job.
Yeah.
Now can I take you back?
Please take me.
Silence or talking?
Silence or talking.
In those roles. So there are times for you to be silent, there's time for you to be talking. Remember, that's where we started.
Yeah.
So wisdom dictates, on this one, am I supposed to be listening?
Yeah.
Or in this one, am I supposed to be talking?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, in counseling, we are told to listen more.
Yes.
And to see more. If you look at a picture, just a sketch.
Yes.
Someone has big eyes and big ears and a small mouth. So you talk less, but you listen and see more.
That is amazing. And
this is also a part of leadership. I know we are talking about a man, but also for ladies and every other person. I think in leadership, because I also believe that everyone is a leader. As long 100%. As you're gifted,
yes,
you are a leader in that area of gifting.
Yes.
And you are a person of influence. So when it comes to listening, one of the key things in leadership is listening.
Yeah.
Because when you listen, you will not respond from what you want to respond.
No.
But you will understand. Understanding comes
back again, we go to understanding.
And then you will communicate because you listen to the person.
Yeah.
And sometimes problems can be solved just by listening.
Problems are solved by listening. I actually had somebody asked, do you want to be listened to or do you want to be heard?
Listen.
But you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm making noise at you for coming late, I don't want to be heard. I want to be listened.
Come on.
But if you want to know how disappointed I am at how late I came, this is another story.
Please.
Why do two people who love each other, when they argue, they raise their voices? Because even though you are close to each other, your hearts are far apart. It is not the physical distance. It's the emotional distance. That's why you find people raising their voice.
And they're close to each other.
And they are close to each other. As a matter of fact, they're even standing next to each other. Again, listening, understanding, and the heart.
Wow.
And one of the most powerful tools I have learned is to tell the other person how you feel. Again, let's go back to the issue of two people discussing. So I sit and listen, I listen, and then I find out what we're saying. So if I understand you correctly, and normally what that does, it drives down the temperature.
Yeah.
And when the temperature is down,
even the walls,
walls come down. And even the shout. Can you imagine somebody shouting and another person is talking? Let me see what I heard you say and correct me if I'm wrong. You can jump in at any one point.
Yeah.
What I heard you say is that you are ready earlier for me. You prepared this food and I came late.
Yeah.
As a result of being late, you believe, or it comes to you like I don't value your time. And also there are other things that have delayed by coming late. Is that accurate? Tell me what they're going to shout after that. As a matter of fact, I've asked you, is that accurate? Or have I missed out something in that discussion?
Wow. Because now you feel you're heard.
Yes.
And also you feel some aspect of respected.
Yes, absolutely.
And you feel that now you can communicate.
The emotional distance matches the physical distance.
Yeah. You know, I think it's on TikTok or Instagram, those reels that just come. There's a teacher, I think it's an Asian country, where the teacher was punishing this young boy. Every day he was coming late. Every day. And he was punishing him in front of the other pupils. And so one day this teacher said, let me just follow him behind the scenes. I see what he does. Why does he come late? You know what happened? He went and then he started seeing him from the car, from the inside the car. And he saw when this boy wakes up, he takes, I think it's a relative or a father, by the wheelchair. He has to take him, I think, to like an old man's place or, like a hospital. And then he has to go back home with some stuff. And then now he goes to school. And then this man, the following day, when the boy went to school, he just gave the teacher the hand ready to be whipped.
Because he cannot do anything about coming late.
Yeah, but the teacher started weeping. Because he was like, he's been punishing him and he's never understood why he's late.
Understanding.
You see? So I think one of the points of this is to seek understanding. You know, sometimes it's good to understand why people do what they do.
Yes, absolutely. You bring a very profound point. And there is something I call the stories we tell ourselves. The stories we tell ourselves. Our lives are stories. Actually, I think we were talking about that earlier.
In fact, I wanted to bring that. And there was a day you came to me and told me about the same thing. That the older you grow, you even stop judging.
The quieter you become.
You understand this person did this because of this.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me about
with
that.
age, see, the thing is that there is nothing that tortures us more than the stories we tell ourselves. As a matter of fact, I normally say this. The punishment of recreating a story you've created in your mind is living through it.
The punishment of recreating a story that you've created in your mind is living through it.
Let me give you an example. I need something from you. Let me say, I need your car. I need to go drop something. I need to, something urgent. I need to go and take say my relative to hospital. Then I come back and I don't have options, right? Then I start telling myself, hey, but KT cannot allow me to his car. Have you seen the way his car looks? Right? Then at that time, everything that is not supporting what it is that I want starts fighting. Yeah, in fact, I've even seen the guy and carry people after church. It's just for him and his family. There's no way he can accept this. Then all of a sudden, KT cannot accept. I'm not even going to ask him.
Yeah.
That is a story I have told myself about you. And I have concluded it and I've closed the chapter. Now I start looking for, I have not talked to you a single word.
Yeah.
Now I start looking for ways of raising money so I can get an Uber to take my relative. Because the problem is still there.
Yeah.
How many stories do we tell ourselves?
Many.
It is actually said that we suffer more in our minds than even in reality.
Now you're bringing another topic about the mind.
We have moved.
Who moved the cheese? That's not the issue. But I'm just trying to see how many stories we come up with in our heads, and yet even the other person is not involved.
And we have judged them. We have closed the case, and they are going to prison in our mind. And there's something called confirmation bias. You know what confirmation bias is?
Let me know, teach me.
The story I have created about you, I find more and more evidence by just looking at you to confirm what already I have decided.
Where?
It is called confirmation bias, and you will see it everywhere. So let's go back to the story.
Organizations, relationships.
As a matter of fact, companies, man, everything is because you see, the brain is a very lazy object.
Okay.
So the brain is about 1/10 of your body weight, but consumes 25% of the energy.
Okay. I'm learning.
25% of the energy. It's not your biceps or your feet. It's the brain. So what it tries and does is optimize where you spend the rest of the 75%.
Okay.
So we said, don't even bother doing that. It's too much work. How many times have you ever thought doing something is too much work until you get started doing it? And then you realize it's not as much work as you thought. So literally, you talk yourself, the same issue of the mind, you talk yourself out of opportunities more than obstacles actually do.
Wow.
And how do we do this? We do this through stories.
Yeah.
I had a guy in that company who treated me badly once. Never trust anybody in that company again.
Because of one guy.
That church bana. That church. Watu wa hiyo kanisa hata usiwe mtu wa hiyo kanisa. And
ama hoteli.
Ama whatever it is. It is your brain over optimizing on something that has not gone back to confirm whether it was it is general or it was specific to occasion.
So how can you help someone who is stuck in this routine of judging?
The number one thing, to be honest, they have to have a come to Jesus moment by themselves. Have you ever seen somebody? Have you ever you swim?
Yeah, but for fun.
Can you think about trying to help somebody? You're not a very good swimmer, but you want to help somebody. Even experienced swimmers, what they do is that they wait for you to give up. At the point where you give up, that's when they come and get you. And otherwise, you're going to drown yourself and them.
Yeah.
Right?
You're going to drown the professional.
You cannot help somebody, and this is something that has come with the passage of time. I cannot see the need in your life, and I come and motivate you to want to do something about it. Okay. I can be available, and there's the ministry of availability.
Okay.
And I can try and say, hey, have you thought about... In fact, the best thing is just ask the right questions.
Okay. So questioning is one of the things.
Questioning is an amazing... And you're not questioning in a judging way. You're questioning in an understanding way.
In a way that someone will think within themselves because maybe they have the answers.
Yes.
So that they can be able to walk out of that situation.
Hey, by the way, hey, Pastor KT, have you realized sometimes... how did your wife take what you said outside church at the parking lot? So what I'm trying to tell you is, hey, bro, when you talk to your wife, it was not nice, but I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
You say, hey, how was the conversation in the car after you guys got into the car and started going?
No, that's wisdom.
That is wisdom. That is wisdom. But in reality, that is not what our faith and our current upbringing has brought us up.
Because I'm saying also when it comes to questioning and how Jesus questioned this guy who was sick for I think 38 years, the one in John chapter 5.
Okay.
Jesus went there and asked him, do you want to be made well?
The guy at the Bethsaida, at the side of the pool.
Yeah.
He can see.
Yeah. Do you want to be made well?
That is a profound question.
Yeah, and you see how that guy was. Because of judging, every time someone comes in,
I have no one.
And this is how we are. It's like the victim mentality.
100%.
And it's like also blaming.
Yes.
We blame other people and we are victims. I don't have someone to support me, school fees. I don't have someone to share my podcast and all those things.
Yes.
But the question still remains.
Do you want
to be made well?
That is such a profound question.
And before we even continue, something interesting from that, because it's about the mind.
Yes.
We mentioned the head to the heart.
Yes.
When it comes to the mind, the thinking and you being made to think differently from what you know, because sometimes we are shut. We are in prisons of our own thinking. And you see, sometimes we may be in spaces where as we are going through such, we are the victim and we feel like we are the ones we are not progressing because of someone else's actions and failing to bail us out, we can't be in a place where we look for other people who are in a similar situation.
Misery loves company.
Exactly.
Yes.
As long as we are all single, we are okay.
Yes.
As long as we are all jobless,
we are fine.
Okay. As long as
the moment one person gets a job or one person
exactly
quits, we actually start finding fault with them.
Exactly. And we start speaking all manner of words.
Is it about them?
No. But
it's about the story I've been telling myself about why I'm jobless.
Yeah. And the thing is, everyone has this opportunity. Do you want to be made well?
All right. I want to venture into the realm of the controversial. Am I allowed to? Salvation does not repair that. This is what I've been learning.
People think that salvation sorts everything.
Carte blanche, everything.
When you get born again, everything.
Just like when you get married.
It's brown water, now it's clear.
I'm married. Once I get married, all these issues are going to go.
That's not controversial.
So, there are about a number of distinct stages we go through. Everybody starts this journey as a non-believer. It doesn't matter whether you got saved at whatever age. You start the journey as an unbeliever.
Yeah.
Then you get saved. Once you get saved, that's a point of transition. Once you get saved, you then start the process of transforming.
Yeah.
You know the scripture I'm going to go for? Romans 8, 1 and 2.
Romans 12.
Romans 12.
Yeah.
Beloved, right? I beseech thee.
By the mercies
of God.
Yeah.
That you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable before God, because that's your reasonable sacrifice.
Yeah.
You go to verse 2? Is it verse 2 over 3? Do not be conformed
to the
patterns of this world,
but
be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Actually, NLT says, be ye transformed by letting God change the way you think.
Okay.
Transformation, the core message of transformation is changing your mindset.
Changing your mindset.
As a matter of fact, I even go further and say that the entire Bible is a compendium, is a library of mindsets. So you just choose which mindset you're going to take. From when your mindset changes, and it happens because of three things.
Yeah.
It happens because of reading of the word. It happens because of prayer. And thirdly, it depends on by you being in the company of a teaching minister.
Okay.
Or ministers who teach you the word. Then once that transformation is complete, you then become a witness.
Okay.
Because you are no longer on the outskirts. Your mind has changed. Again, Acts 1 says, how can we not but talk about the things we have seen and heard?
Yeah.
What is that? Is a witness.
Oh yeah, true.
But when Jesus is talking to them, he's saying, these things are too hard. How can we even follow some of these things? Oh, he asked them, what do you mean? Again, what was that? Understanding.
Wow.
Once you understand and you're transformed, let this mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus.
Let me take us back a bit. That verse, Romans 12, 1 to 2. The word transformed comes from the Greek word metamorpho.
Ooh, metamorphosis.
Exactly. So you have to come from the place of egg, larva, pupa. Adult. Or is it pupa, larva?
Yes.
Whichever.
Yes.
But you have to come from that stage where you're being developed. And you're being watered by the word, sitting under
teaching ministry, prayer, and the word.
And you see, when you do these three things, when it comes to prayer, you are praying what you are reading from the word.
Yes.
So that at the end of the day, it's not what you think.
No.
It's not what you think.
What you think has changed.
Exactly.
It's been transformed.
And now you start thinking things that are not normal to the common person.
Romans, we go back to Romans. Don't be conformed.
Yeah.
but be transformed.
Because already the world, for lack of a better word, is already conformed.
Using mindset.
Oh my God.
There's a mindset. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to pick a mindset. There are mindsets already available.
Yeah. So which one you're subscribing to matters.
That is the distinction.
Wow.
Actually, let's explore this further. Because the butterfly does not look anything like the pupa.
True.
So can we say then the pupa is the conformation and the butterfly is the transformation?
Interesting, because you're moving from process of conformation
to transformation. Yes.
So it's a process.
And that is exactly what happens to us from the time after salvation. I even dare say there is nothing greater that happens to a human being after salvation than transformation. It is your sole responsibility. Study to present yourself approved before God, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. From the book of Timothy.
Where? Okay. So how can we bring this to a conclusion?
I love that. So nothing happens. Oh, I love what you said. So you start in the new year. What do most people have?
Resolution.
Okay. James Clear says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
You don't rise to the
level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
Okay.
You know what that means? You love sports, I love sports.
Yeah.
100 meters finals, Olympics. Who there does not want to win a gold medal?
Everyone wants.
Everyone wants to win a gold medal.
Yeah.
Right? But do you think it's their desire that makes them win the gold medal? It's the desire. Otherwise, they'd have 8 gold medals for everybody.
Yeah.
No, it's the level of their systems, of how they've prepared.
Yeah.
Who woke up 2 minutes before the other? Yeah. Who spent X number of hours in the gym? Who spent? So you're not raising the level of your goals. You're following the level of your systems. So everybody is ambitious, but nobody puts a plan of how that will happen.
What?
So for you to transform your life, you have to first sit down and say, what systems do I put in place to see to it that I transform?
Wow.
3 things: teaching minister, word, prayer. What systems do I put in place for prayer? What systems do I put in place for the word? How do I understand the word? Do I understand stories? Do I understand 52-week Bible cover to cover? Right?
Bible in
what works for me? Then what system do I put in place? And some of these, Pastor Katie, is very simple. Take your calendar on your phone. Take the Bible. And then slots where you're going to do it. You put reminders for yourself when you're going to read the word. You put slots when you're going to pray. And you make that into a system. For lack of a better example, my parents, every day at 4 a.m., they wake up to pray. Wow. Without fail. There are times they have traveled and flown in the country and arrived at 2 a.m. They will sleep a bit more, but by the time they wake up, they never start their day without prayer.
Oh my God, they are living like the Akina Leonard Ravenhill and all those people.
I am a product of their prayer, and I am never ashamed to admit that. I could not be anything I am without their prayer.
So we have no choice.
It is not your goals, it is your systems. Forget goals.
We need to have systems.
It is systems. It is systems. I want to learn more. Every single day, I'll read X number of pages. And also, you don't punish yourself when you miss. All you have to do is ensure you don't miss 2 consecutive days. And I'll make a plan.
You know one thing, when I got born again, I remember we were being told, read your Bible, pray every day.
Even the song?
And not the song now,
read
that was a spoken word. So, from that day, I was like, what is it about this word that I should read it daily?
Yes.
And I'm a new
believer.
Yes. And I started. I just started randomly too. I would open
where your finger falls.
Where my finger falls. At least it was falling on the good places. But I started with John. And when I started doing that, I started getting to a place that I've developed that discipline from 2008 up to today.
Yes.
There's no day I've skipped
reading the word.
It's because I've gotten to a place that the system,
yes,
whether I felt like it, whether I did not, I had
what your bank balance looked like.
Yes. In fact, Nelson, I'm sure you know Nelson Gasheru, one of my good friends. Nelson told me one thing that I've never forgotten. He told me, Katie, I've seen you when you were struggling financially.
Yep.
You were praying.
Yes.
You were reading the word.
Yes. Nothing changes.
And now you have a family, you have a car.
You're still praying.
You haven't stopped.
Yeah. Nope.
It's because of the systems.
It is a system. It is not a goal.
Yeah. And this is one thing that I want it to be in my children.
You're getting to a good place now.
In fact, one of the things my daughter asks me before we sleep nowadays, to show my Bible.
Without fail.
Without fail. And yesterday I didn't want to read it.
Nope.
But we read.
Yes. God puts those angels so you can make sure your system stay in place. The only reason God chose Abraham is because he knew Abraham was going to teach his children after his ways.
Anyway.
And other than your salvation, the other thing you can take to heaven is your children and your relatives.
By the way. So we have to reach out to them. A mindset thing.
Mindset.
And we have to ensure that the word of God is just.
It's the
so that
actually let's just go this. So you've just come from Christmas.
Yeah.
And there are relatives you can't stand for what they did. And you're still being told to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Can I tell you this? Life is lived by people who accept an apology they never got.
Life is lived by
people who got an apology they never got.
Wow.
Where you were transformed to the point of saying, you imagine an apology in your mind and say, I forgive you. Because that completely removes.
Wow.
Yep.
I think we've just come to the end.
This could go on for a while. Huh?
Yeah. So this is the Identity Project podcast, where we have interactive conversations revolving around becoming, so that we live victoriously and lead others to do the same. Thank you so much for... I even don't know what to say. God bless you. Thank you so much. See you again in another episode.